This is my Lorex 2K doorbell, which I've just bought, powered it up with a USB cable, and in a moment I'm going to install it on the house and see how well it works.
I found the idea of video doorbells a bit weird and kind of a bit weirdly intrusive. There's no way that I think somebody could think that I am in my house but just not coming to the door right now because I'm terribly busy. I mean, the only reason why I would do that is if I'm on the toilet, so I'm not going to be answering the doorbell from the toilet. However, I now work here in my home office, which is in the back garden, and I can't tell if someone is trying to make a delivery to the house. So we've missed deliveries for that reason, which is just quite annoying. So I decided to get a video doorbell, but not the market leader Ring, because, well, I don't want something that's reliant on Amazon for reasons. And I did a bit of Googling of what is a decent option that doesn't rely on Amazon, and the Lorex came up. I'd never heard of them before, but it seems to be a decent product. The reviews seem quite good that I've seen, and I thought I'd share with you what I thought of it. And here it is. This is the Lorex video doorbell, and it looks like a video doorbell, doesn't it? At the moment it's being powered via the USB cable, micro USB, that came with it. When it's installed, you have two terminals under here that connect to your existing doorbell wiring, and the whole thing is powered by the transformer for your doorbell, so it takes 16 to 24 volts. I have yet to measure my doorbell power supply, but it's pretty standard, so I can't see why it wouldn't work. That isn't unusual. A lot of doorbells, video doorbells, work that way. What is a bit more unusual about the Lorex is that it comes with all this stuff. Now, I'm not going to do an unboxing here because I'm sure you've seen people take things out of a box before, but the box itself is quite nice. Look at that. It's all printed and stuff, and it's got a picture on it. But this comes with the chime kit. So this is something that I wire into my existing mechanical chime, because that works by the two cables being joined together. They're not going to be in here. So instead, this somehow talks to this. I don't know or care how that works, but they're very close together, so I'm sure that will be fine. However, this is an added extra with quite a few of the other video doorbells, or they don't support this sort of thing at all. So that's a big win. Some really nice touches. We get some extension cables in case when we remove our existing door push, the cable isn't long enough. In fact, I know it's probably not going to be, so that's really handy. This even comes with a drill bit that you need to install it on masonry. I mean, that's a decent masonry bit. I'm going to keep that. That's really useful. And we have a couple of different brackets which handle different angles, both horizontally and vertically. So I'll find the one that works best. The only thing I'm slightly worried about is that, in fact, the door frame of the house is really quite narrow, and I don't know how well this is going to fit on it. So I'm hoping that, first of all, it fits at all, and secondly, it doesn't look stupid, but I guess we'll find out. Before I install it, one of the things I want to do is set this up and make sure it actually works, which I've now done, so I can't really show you the steps, but never mind. It was very easy. I downloaded the Lorex app and then I created an account. Pretty standard stuff. I know, it's me, I'm here. Anyway, create an account, pretty standard stuff. That was really easy. And then I added my first device because I don't own any other Lorex products, which was just a matter of scanning the QR code that's on the back of the doorbell. And that was it, really. I give it the information about my Wi-Fi, and it has now connected to the Wi-Fi network. So this brings me to the first thing that you need to make sure you have checked. Second thing, maybe third thing. Will it fit? I don't know. I've been a bit rash and I've bought it anyway. Does your doorbell provide the appropriate power supply for this device? Well, I don't know that either, but I will be checking that before I connect it up. And then thirdly, do you have Wi-Fi coverage where the doorbell is going to go? Because that's how it communicates with the rest of the world. Now, I know that I do, but you might not. So that's something that you would need to check before buying one of these things. There is one thing that I want to show you that really has irritated me so far. One of the things that I don't like about video doorbells is the noise that they make. Now in my house, you can hear the mechanical chime from the door, so you don't need the doorbell to make an obnoxious, loud, artificial noise to tell you just pressed a button, because you'd hear it from inside the house. I just don't want it to do that at all. But what I'd found when you go in here and say, go to the sound settings, and here you can choose which doorbell ringtone you actually want. However, unfortunately, the option is to just different levels of awfulness. They're all crap. I don't like any of them, and what I want is none, or at least a volume control that lets me turn it down, because this is really unpleasant. So I'm going to get in touch with Lorex and ask the question, is there a way to turn that chime off, or at least turn it down, because I really hate it. But at least the thing does actually work. Hey, I'm at my door. And so, oh yeah, that's another thing to say. There's a light on the bottom of it. Now I don't know, I was going to say I don't know how bright that is. I just looked at it. It's very bright. That could actually be quite useful. Now, one thing I did quickly want to show you before I put this thing up, and the reason for that will become apparent, is the quick response function. The idea is you don't actually have to answer the door and talk to a person. You can simply play an announcement and you can record your own. They are not very good, so this is one of the built-in ones.
Please leave the package at the door.
Not great. Or perhaps this.
Nobody can come to the door right now.
I don't know what use is that. It's a little bit like the answer phone that answers your call in order to say that you can't leave a message and to please go away. Maybe we should simply record one that says go away. Now I tried recording my own and it wasn't really very good either.
If you could throw that fragile package over the back fence so it lands on the patio and definitely smashes, that would be great.
It's got a weird sort of forward echo thing, like I'm speaking from the future or the past, which of course I am. But let's see if I can show you the process of recording a new one. You tap this plus button and then you record your message. There is nobody here, please go away. Click next. Give it a name. And then that is saved to the doorbell. There isn't someone at the door, it's me, I'm here. Oh yeah, and now it sounds like this.
There is nobody here, please go away.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be using this function because it's rubbish. Okay, so here's the mechanical chime for my doorbell with the cover off and in fact the chimes removed, and you can see there's some wires. Now you might expect that if you want to know what the voltage of a transformer is, you simply have a look at it and it'll be written on there. Yeah, that'd be great if I knew where it was. It would appear to be inside this wall. That's quite annoying. So I'm going to use this multimeter, which I've just got set to AC voltage. I want to poke it onto those wires up there and I will see what it says. Okay, I've done that. Now we need a voltage of 16 to 25 volts for the doorbell to work, and yay, we should be absolutely fine with that. I've also started working out how I'm actually going to mount this. So let's have a look at the bits that you actually get. I alluded to this earlier. So you have this piece, this is what goes on the back of the doorbell, and you can screw that straight onto something. Or you have these two kind of angly bits. That is a vertical angle and that is a horizontal angle, and you can put that either way round. So what happens is that clips on to there and then this goes on there. There we are. So this is the one I'm going to use. Now I was worried about this fitting because the width of this is something like 4.5 centimeters, and that is slightly wider, I think, than the width of my door frame. However, you'll see it's got a really nice sort of bevel, angly bit. I don't know what you want to call that, but basically what that means is not only does this fit, it looks really good. I think it's going to be absolutely fine. It's got later and cold, so I've put a coat on. What I've realised is I've got to install this first. Now the instructions list some specific things, the P terminal and the trans terminal on the doorbell. This doorbell doesn't have those, so I'm going to guess. Perfect. Okay, now we're at the business end of everything. Well, that wasn't a good noise. Let's back with tools of violence. That wasn't a good noise. Yeah, having got that off, it had a little screw in the bottom, and I didn't remember that. Anyway, it's off now. Yay! Woo! Bosh. Let's not get too excited. It's not wired up. I've just put it on there to make sure it fits. I don't think it looks quite nice though. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's working. Interesting. Something strange just happened, but it's working at the moment. Let's see what happens when I shut the door. Oh. Sad flash of red despair. Well, it's a new day, and my Lorex video doorbell sort of works. Now, I talked about the importance of checking that you have a good Wi-Fi signal where you're going to put the doorbell. And that's not just for the Lorex, that's for really any of these things. It's how they work. They talk over your Wi-Fi to the internet, and that they do their thing. Now, I checked what the Wi-Fi signal was like where I'm going to put the doorbell, and it seemed to be okay. I used the airport utility on my iPhone. However, and this is important, I checked with the door open, and it turns out that my front door has really heavy Wi-Fi attenuation. So I found myself in a situation last night where with the front door open, the doorbell would work. With the door closed, it would not. Now I've made some tweaks and moved a few things around, and I've got it working, although it really is only just hanging on to the Wi-Fi signal. So I'm going to have to make more changes, but it really has underlined how important it is to check that in the circumstances where the thing's going to be. So door shut. And then maybe, I think you have to assume that the doorbell isn't a very good Wi-Fi client. Its antenna might be a bit pants, it might not be very powerful. I don't know. I haven't done any measurements or checked anything like that. All I know is it doesn't really work terribly well, and the iPhone does work a little bit better. So that just says you don't just need a Wi-Fi signal, you need a really good one. Because the camera has such an enormously wide field of view, it turns out I can't use the person at your door or motion detection functions. And this is because if anything moves anywhere in the street, I get a notification. What you can't do, and I wish that you could, is with motion detection or person detection, record that, but not send a notification. You don't have that option. It's either on and you get both, or it's off and you get neither. So I've plumped for off, because otherwise what's going to happen is every time one of those vehicles drives past, I'll get a notification telling me there's something there, and I will just get notification fatigue. I will stop paying attention to the one I actually care about. One final thing I want to mention about the Lorex is this. You can get RTSP streams off it really easily, which means that from my desktop, I can watch the street. Yay! And so, some sort of conclusion about the Lorex 2K QHD video doorbell. Well, it works. That's not a given with these things. You press the button, the doorbell rings, I get a notification on my phone. I can either talk to that person through the doorbell or get off my backside, go around the front of the house and see them. But the most important thing is I know that they're there. That's why I bought it. So that is a success. There are things about the products that I would change, but I like the way it looks. I think it's a smart piece of kit. The camera quality itself is really good. And I like the fact that it will integrate with other NVRs, particularly, of course, the Lorex Fusion system, which looks like a really interesting package if you're looking for a bigger system with other cameras. I would certainly explore that, but it'll work with Blue Iris or really any NVR that will capture an RTSP stream, probably. But I liked the installation kit. It gave me everything I needed. I like the fact that I can integrate it with my existing door chime. A fact that actually I can just take everything away, put it all back as it was, which could be useful for you if you're in rented accommodation or you might move house soon. So overall, I would recommend this kit. It's done what I need it to do, which is really all I can ask for.